and welcome to another episode of Worst Collection Ever. This is the show where we tell you about the worst comic book collection in existence, and it just happens to belong to us. I'm Jen.
And I'm Sean.
Here we are. It's late at night. We've had some wine.
Yeah. I've been chilling out, though, for a little bit, though, so I'm doing all right.
I'm still drinking. I don't know.
I know you are. I'm doing all right.
Your wife's having a good time.
It's a nice, cool night.
It is a nice, cool night.
once.
And very exciting, we took some stuff out to Pulp Fiction.
We did, yeah.
Today to go ahead and, stuff we didn't need because obviously now that, the Jim Balent Catwoman is in trade, I'm going to start collecting the trades. So we got rid of some of those comics. We got rid of some of the trades I don't need, some trades you don't need, some other single issues, I think.
Did a bit of a purge.
A little bit of not a big one, just a smidge, just a smidge purge.
Yeah, it was something where I was talking to a friend this week, and the idea that we came up with put a thing in my head where he's like, because he had like a lot of comics.
Oh, he had so many more than we did.
Like we have a lot of comics, but
sure. No, he had a legitimate collection.
He has a legit collection, and he was had it in storage. So he's like, you know what, I'm gonna get rid of some of this because I'm paying for it to be in storage. I'm not enjoying these books,
right?
So why not just
because they're in storage?
Yeah, why not just sell a bunch of these and then just kind of convert a lot to trades? So I think for us, if we can convert some of these to trades,
I would like to do that.
I think that would make a lot of sense.
That's what I'm trying to do with obviously, because, before I couldn't get the Jim Balent Catwoman run in trade because they didn't have it. So it was going to have to be single issue no matter what. But now it's in trade, so now I can start converting over. But there are certain things I'm never going to be able to convert over. Like, I mean, maybe not never, but at least not right now. Yeah. Like, they don't have a Lois Lane trade.
No.
They don't have Jimmy Olsen trades. So maybe those DC Comics Presents, aren't really in trade right now. So those are going to be things that I'm going to have to wait on and keep as single issues.
There's a lot of books, too, stuff that, like, I'm particularly fond of that is not a trade.
Yeah.
And they're not in trades, and it's really frustrating for me because I would love to have that stuff in trade. Like, for instance, like the entire Wonder Man run.
Right.
I have all those books, but there's 29 issues. You roughly would think that's about 3 or 4 volumes worth of a book.
Yeah.
As a trade paperback, but, they're not really, it's not in demand, so they're not going to be doing that anytime soon, probably. But there's stuff like, like Warlock and the Infinity Watch that I could probably, cover in trades, and, I could figure it out, but it's just really more about being able to get enough to cover, like sell what I have and then give more for it. So I don't know. It's going to be a process, but I feel like just in order
I think it's going to be worth it.
Yeah, because we're just like we went to this weekend. We went to a place, the Black Cat Comics. Have we talked about that on the show?
Yeah, we've mentioned it before.
So it's a very heavy on toys.
They've got some cool stuff.
A lot of cool stuff there. Probably the biggest Captain Power collection I've seen.
Oh yeah, they have so much stuff. So much Captain Power stuff.
So much Captain Power for you '80s folks that were privy to Captain Power. Basically, Captain Power was like, hey kids, do you want to watch TV and play with your toys at the exact same time and make it count?
Yeah.
Then that's what Captain Power was, because you would just point your ships at a TV and be like, I'm shooting. Yeah. And then if you get shot, your guy gets somehow the TV would attack you. I'm serious, because the TV would.
It's very 80s.
The TV would attack back. And if you got attacked, your guy would fly out of the cockpit.
Interesting.
That's how that worked. Like, you actually could lose to your television.
We've all lost to our televisions, right. Let's be honest.
But, yeah, that's how Captain Power worked. And, you don't really see a lot of that stuff. I feel like I don't see a ton of it out when I'm out there doing my fart ball shoppings. But
is that what it's called? Fart ball shopping?
That's what I'm calling from now on.
All right, fair enough.
Anytime I'm out there just shopping for comics or toys, I'm fart ball shopping.
Okay.
Hashtag fart ball shopping.
What is a fart ball? Explain that to me.
Well, it's just kind of like when you think about what are you doing, John?
Like fart noise, or we like?
It's pretty much just like, anything that
Like-
doesn't have
like-
any real thing. Like,
like-
I'm not out there like shopping for like wood to build a shelter for somebody that needs it. Like,
Oh
I'm
no,
like,
we don't do that.
No, I'm not doing. I mean, I'm not. Not that I don't support that, but I'm not. That's
Oh no, we're Americans.
something.
Therefore, we are defined by our extreme laziness and selfishness.
Right. So if I'm just doing a lot of stuff, just like typically, pretty much any shopping for myself, I'm like, I need this Sega Master System.
I was just thinking, like, are we talking like you're in a ball and you're shopping, like you're like curled up?
Yeah, you're rolling me. I'm in a wheelbarrow, and you're rolling.
Oh, and I
me
just
through
roll
the
you
aisles.
around and you just
And
make
you're-
fart noises
And you're just rolling me through a comic book convention.
while
and
you buy comics and toys.
This is what we're gonna do next time we go to a convention. I'm gonna sit in a wheelbarrow, and you're gonna wheel me, and you're just gonna walk by the stands and go.
Fair enough. We could probably do that. Somebody might think we're cosplaying an extremely obscure character.
Oh, I saw that guy. He was
They'd be like, "Oh, was that guy from the '70s?" I'd be like, "Yes."
I think John Byrne created that in his next Men series. Definitely, I remember that. Yes.
Are you a mutant that turns into a wheelbarrow?
There's a character who's in a wheelbarrow, and his wife
And
pushes
his-
him around and makes flatulence.
Wait, I have to make the flatulent noise, or you're going to make the flatulent noise?
You would make the flatulent noise.
Why do I have to make the flatulent?
I'm in the ball. I'm shopping.
But I don't want to make a flatulent noise. Can we get like a recording?
Yeah. Okay. Fine.
Okay.
We're kind of.
Can we get like a morning show
little soundboard?
board? Yeah, soundboard. So we just
Do you want
push
some elephant sounds?
Yeah, I want all sorts of sounds. I want a toilet flush. I want a boing. I want the
We
whole
have
thing.
a foghorn like.
Yes. Yes, 100%. That's exactly what I want. I want boings, toilet flushes, foghorns, and fart noises.
That character was also in John Byrne's next band. It was the radio DJ who.
The morning zoo.
The morning
DJ.
zoo DJ, who was kind of like the thread that tied that book together. I've read one issue of John Byrne's Next Men. I think, you know what? He could have been in there.
You know
I
what?
don't know.
I haven't read every comic. I'm not going to say it doesn't exist.
I'm not saying it.
I'm not saying it does.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it doesn't.
I'm not saying it's not real. So,
But when we went today, we went to Pulp Fiction, and I picked up Wonder Woman Golden Age Volume 1,
yeah.
which I'm really excited about. That was actually used.
What does that cover? I didn't actually look to see what it
I don't
covers.
remember what it covers.
I'll just take a look, but it's probably awesome.
Yeah, so I'm really excited about that. I actually got it used, so I got it for like $13.
Yeah, Pulp
it's
Fiction-
brand new.
Yeah, I'll give
so
it-
I'm all about stuff like that. So I got the Wonder Woman thing. I got Catwoman.
I think
I don't remember which
it's
one.
From the
That was also
it's from the third
used.
volume.
Yes, that was also used, so that was exciting. We got that, and then what did you pick up?
I picked up the Judas Contract, the Teen Titans,
That's right.
The epic Teen Titans, new Teen Titans story from George Perez and Marv Wolfman, which I've always heard about. Because this is the thing. So, like, Pulp Fiction, they have these. They have a lot of used trades for
Yeah.
really cheap stuff, that really good deals.
Oh, great deals! Yeah,
And there's a lot of. It's really cool is that there's a lot of stuff that like I always.
it always changes too. So like,
Yeah.
because people will always bring in stuff, they trade stuff in, and I mean, like sometimes there's section, like the section right now is like a whole freaking wall. It's huge.
Yeah, they've kind of retrofitted their store to feature more of that, which is
which
great.
is awesome.
It's a really really beneficial. But there's actually stuff that like I didn't realize like was out. Like there's an Orion omnibus
Yeah.
from the what is it, the Walt Simonson series from the early 2000s.
They've got all sorts of fucking
existed.
omnibuses now because they've
Yeah.
got like that Swamp Thing Bronze Age one we
I
saw
didn't know
today.
that. I need to get that.
Because like if you go to Pulp Fiction, they have a whole, at least in the DC section, that whole fucking bottom shelf of these huge fucking omnibuses, and they're just like every character you can think of, like doing the Flash. They got the Swamp Thing, the Teen Titans, this, that. And it's awesome because
Yeah.
I'm here for that stuff. And I actually saw, the other thing that I really loved that they had and I didn't get, they have Elseworlds trades.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot.
So
of
they've
those
got a
now.
Batman
There's a JLA one
Elseworlds.
too.
Yes, a JLA Elseworlds, which I love Elseworlds stories.
Yeah.
So I'm here for that, and I really want those.
Yeah.
I just haven't picked them up yet, but that's on my list for sure because I was like, oh shit, I really want these because I love Elseworld stories.
But I decided to, given with the credit we had, I figured I'd just pick up the Judas contract. I got a good deal on that.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to reading that. Looking for a few different things. I mean, like I'm trying to finish off my Avengers West Coast. Mm-hmm. There's a few more trades that I don't have. There's a lot of them that they did collect from the early stuff, but I have all those individual issues, which actually might be a thing I do. Kind of what we were talking about earlier about collecting those.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to do that right now because I want to finish the latter ones.
Yes.
Like I still need the Death of Mockingbird, but yeah, that's kind of where I'm headed. But yeah, no, it was a good day of shopping.
It was. Oh, can I say something else?
What?
So we went up to the Valley. Mm-hmm. We went to Black Cat Comics. Mm-hmm. But we also stopped by House of Secrets in Burbank, like we always do. Mm-hmm. I would just like to direct people to go look at my Instagram account. I took some pictures.
At Jen Stansfield.
At Jen Stansfield on Instagram. Because they have, in like one of the side rooms there, they have, windows.
Yeah.
But what they've done is they had custom-made stained glass windows created, and they've got a Green Lantern one, they've got a Thor, they've got a Flash, a Daredevil, and a Hydra.
Yeah.
And they had them made, and they're fucking cool.
Yeah.
So I would just, if you want to go see them, they're on my Instagram. I took pictures of them.
Well, that's just the tip of the iceberg with the House of Secrets.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they've got all sorts of cool stuff, but like that's just, they're not even for sale. That's just, that's in their window. No. So I would go check that out. It's like one of those, like you scroll through and see a bunch of them. So check that out. They're really, really cool. I wish I had these.
Yeah.
They're not for sale, but because they're specific to the store, they fit perfectly in these windows. If I knew how to make stained glass, like I would do something because they're just fucking great. So if you just want to see something cool, some like comic book stuff, unique stuff.
Well, the thing about House of Secrets, and I know none of these stores support us on the show as far as sponsors, but they're just cool stores.
They're just cool stores.
So, but House of Secrets is a thing that they do is they lacquer comic book covers on like the floor, because they have like I don't know what is it, shale or what is it? I don't know what it's
called. I don't know. It's some sort of tile.
Some sort of tile, but they lacquer comic book stuff, like images, like, mostly covers and stuff on the floor. They have them on some doors. So they have it like kind of situated. They have a lot of art, a lot of,
it's just
the decor of that store is really cool. So
yeah, but definitely go check those out because I've never seen anything quite like this. And I really think they're cool.
Yeah. Those stained glass windows are really great. We had some fun times, just kind of putzing around, doing some stuff. So I'll just say this. We're in the process of moving.
Yeah.
So
we've been doing a lot of work. We're a bit scattered. We're a bit drunk because we've been doing a lot of work, and it's either drink the wine or pack it. So we're drinking it. We're kind of all over the place. It's really late. I mean, we did nothing today but clean and pack. And take stuff to Goodwill and sell stuff we didn't want to move to Pulp Fiction and drop stuff off at the animal shelter, old towels we weren't taking and cat toys and stuff, donating those to the animal shelter and taking electronics to be recycled. Like it has just been nuts.
Yeah, no, it's been crazy. Past couple weeks.
Yeah, I got up this morning. I did nothing but pack. We went and did our errands out. I came back, I cooked, and then I just did more packing.
Watching some wrestling.
While we watched wrestling. And so I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
But I'm going to keep drinking this wine because it just makes everything better.
Yeah. I was watching, I was pretty good and buzzed a little bit earlier because I was watching some wrestling.
Oh, yeah, Sean was drinking all the wine.
I was having to yell.
He was very, he thinks, you want to share your thought about intermission?
Well, I just remember, because the thing about these WWE events, the pay-per-views they do
so
now,
long.
They've increased the length in them, so
I think they're 9 years.
By like an hour, and they take forever.
Yeah, they're about 9 years long.
The problem
is
if
you were to have a child at the beginning of this wrestling event, like he would turn 10 at the end of it.
But the thing is that they would really benefit from doing, because this is even back in the day, like when they used to do WrestleManias, and the WrestleManias back in the day used to have a fuck ton of matches. Like these pay-per-views used to have a fuck ton of matches, and they would do like intermissions. in between,
like a halftime.
Give you
like the Super Bowl gives you a halftime.
Yeah, they give you a 10-minute. But back in the day, they'd just be like, "Hey, here's 20 minutes on the screen," and you would just hear some fucking synthesizers, and you would just wait till it was over, and you just hear the crowd in the background. But people are just fucking, that gives you a time to fucking breathe.
You can go get some popcorn.
You can go popcorn. You can go buy a shirt. You can take a shit.
I mean, you could wait in line to take
all
a shit.
three of those things, and in the amount of time that you could have an intermission, you could chill out. And WWE doesn't do that anymore, and it's kind of disappointing because we're watching this pay-per-view, and everybody is. The
crowd's bored because they've been there
they've been there forever, and they're bored.
They've been there for, at least 5 hours at this point.
Yeah.
And they're bored
because we're also talking about
their asses are asleep.
They've got
it's like watching Henry Rollins.
I was gonna say look at the Henry Rollins show, but it's like they had they have pre-show, they got just the pay-per-view. There's a lot of stuff going on, so it's disappointing that there's not like a little break for something to happen. So I just know that we were watching. Kind of watch these pay-per-views and, this tonight. And it's just, the fans are getting restless and being, I think, disrespectful. But, hey, whatever. It's wrestling.
I'm trying to see if Leela has any thoughts about wrestling.
Leela, you got to talk? You want to say something about the intermissions? On that note, let's take a break.
Yeah.
We'll come back and we'll talk about our book for this week.
Alexander Hamilton, Aaron Burr. If you're a history lover or a musical lover, you probably know about both Hamilton and Burr's rise to power in the early stages of American history and their infamous duel. But what if you didn't know the full story? What if one of them was a werewolf? White Rocket Entertainment proudly presents a 48-page full-color comic book, Hamilton vs. Burr, A Werewolf Tale. Written by Jared Albrecht, the yard sale artist, art by Nate Niles, colors by Ace Wheely and Ken Solomon, letters by Percival Constantine, and edited by Johanna Albrecht. Hamilton vs. Burr, A Werewolf Tale. Available digitally on Kindle and Comics Central, COMIX Central. Prefer a print copy? Hamilton vs. Burr, A Werewolf Tale, along with my other published works, are available at theyardsaleartist.bigcartel.com. That's theyardsaleartist.bigcartel.com. Or you can buy it directly from me, creator Jared Albrecht, the yard sale artist, at any of my Comic-Con appearances. Hamilton vs. Burr, A Werewolf Tale. Get your copy today. You won't regret it. Don't take my word for it. Here's what Ming Chen from AMC's TV series Comic Book Men had to say about it.
I really enjoyed it. A lot of great werewolf scenes in here. A lot of great... this is how I wish history would be told to kids. Books like Hamilton vs. Burr, A Werewolf Tale.
That's Hamilton vs. Burr, A Werewolf Tale.
All right, we're back here on Worst Collection Ever with our book for this week. It is Blackhawk, number 263 from October 1983. The year of the birth of Brian Merrick.
Also my sister.
And Jen's sister.
And my sister Kathy. Both 1983 babies. Actually, they're only like 6 days apart. Strangely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
fascinating.
That's when I think of the time I see 1983, I'm always thinking, like, oh, that's when my brother was born.
Yeah, no, it's when my sister was born, 1983. Oh, so. We're so old.
We are old.
Yeah.
So Blackhawk, number 263. This
book is dumb.
I wanted to do a Blackhawk. I just
Why?
Felt like I don't know.
Okay.
I just felt like we never got around to doing a Blackhawk.
There's a reason.
But I mean, because
it's because I don't care.
Well, Blackhawk is a war comic.
I'm fine with war comics.
I think we don't really do many war comics because they're not really our speed.
They're not our speed, and I think it's kind of one of those things that, like, it's the same with, like, Western comics.
Right.
That they were so big at a certain time, and they just feel very dated now.
Right.
And I wonder if this is going to be kind of a thing, because Westerns were such a big thing, like movie-wise. Like war movies were such a big thing. War movies, we still do. But like Westerns really aren't a thing anymore. And hold on, what?
It's your goth friend who is working at Olive Garden.
No, he looks like Billy Corgan. If Billy Corgan was a maitre d' in fucking P.F. Chang's.
P.K. Chang's.
Oh God! So we have like wrestling on in the background, obviously, because that's what we do here. Baron Corbin just came out. And he's got a shaved head. Looks like Billy Corgan, and he's wearing like a vest. He really does look like a maitre d'.
So Baron Corbin.
I mean, Baron Corbin is correct.
Might as well be Baron Corbin. Baron Corbin is now Constable Corbin. He is like.
What does that mean, Constable?
So he's
Corbin?
like.
Shouldn't he be in like a fucking police uniform and like looking like he's
he
British?
Should look like, right, but he's supposed to be
like wearing one of those fucking hats.
Right, he's supposed to be wearing like a bobby.
Yeah, like a bobby,
British bobby or whatever it is. So, but he's basically Stephanie McMahon's like enforcer on Raw to keep Kurt Angle in check.
You can't see it, but I'm miming jacking off. Okay.
And he so in order to kind of attune to the role, like Baron Corbin usually looks like he used to have these like he was balding, stringy black hairs.
Yeah, he had a skullet.
And he used to wear like leather kind of pleather tights and like you have a vest and stuff. And he was kind of like a lone wolf guy, but they set him up.
His gimmick.
They changed his gear a bit. So now he's like, since he's professional, he's the constable. Now he's going to wrestle. He shaved his head.
Oh,
so he doesn't have the weird hair anymore, but he decided now that he's going to wrestle in
slacks and a fucking button down.
Slacks and a black button down, and he looks like your goth friend that works at Olive Garden, but he wants to keep it real.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So they were talking about this on Tights and Fights. There's this podcast called Tights and Fights where they talk about wrestling. If you like wrestling, you might want to listen to this podcast. Because, I am not a huge wrestling fan, but I find this podcast very entertaining. But they were talking about how he looks like a waiter at an Olive Garden. And he absolutely does. But what he really looks like is my goth friend who I only see at shows, usually like totally geared out in like the PVC shit and like makeup and all that sort of shit. And then one day I go into Olive Garden with my mom and he's there.
He's there,
but
he's
like
working, he's doing
sort of
gig.
appropriate for work because he has to pay rent too. Like that's what he looks like, and it's just very unsettling.
Baron Corbin is the scene in the movie Rockstar with Mark Wahlberg
where he puts his dick on the counter.
What?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was thinking Boogie Nights.
I don't remember that being in Rockstar where he's like, hey, I'm going to join Judas Priest type band, so here's my dick.
Sorry, I was thinking about Boogie Nights for some reason.
Well, I mean, there's like 2 Mark Wahlberg movies.
Well, no, there's like 8 million Mark Wahlberg movies, including that one that's coming out where he's like trying to kill Asian people, where you're like, dude, that's probably not a good casting choice, considering like you're literally a felon for punching an Asian man and taking his eye out. Anyway, continue on.
No, there's a scene where Mark Wahlberg's character he's a big I forgot what the name of the band is, like Steel Dragon or whatever.
Oh, that's right.
But his day job is he's a copier repairman.
Oh,
right. So there's a scene where he's fixing a copier, dressed like Baron Corbin is, like in a white shirt or whatever, and he's still got his eye makeup on because he's in a cover band. And the guy's like, "Hey, what's up with that?" Some people just looking at him weird, and he's like, "Oh wait, no, I'm Mark Wahlberg. I'm in a cover band. Don't mind me. I'm fixing your copier." So that's what basically Baron Corbin looks like.
Yeah.
I fucking nailed it.
You really did.
So anyways, Blackhawk.
Blackhawk, war comic, etc., etc.
Blackhawk was a war comic. There's a basic, and the thing about Blackhawk is like there's Blackhawk.
And there's Blackhawks.
But then there's Blackhawks. And there's a bunch of dudes who are like a part of this team.
Right. And they're like airmen. We have Lady Blackhawk.
There's a Lady Blackhawk. They're a bunch of like
they fly planes.
Yeah, basically like they're like actually could best be described as like G.I. Joe for the DC universe, specifically for like
planes.
Well, planes, but
only
also
planes.
like basically for like World War II.
Okay.
So
G.I. Joe.
Yeah, it's basically like G.I. Joe. Although G.I. Joe, I've been reading a lot of G.I. Joe comics lately. G.I. Joe is way more like
dark.
Tactical. No,
oh,
I mean it's dark. There's some dark stuff to it because Joe's dying there. You watch the cartoons; they're shooting lasers. Nobody's dying except for Duke got stabbed in the chest with a fucking snake, and he just went into a coma.
You know what? I watched that cartoon when I was a kid. I have so little recollection of it, of like the plot lines and the story.
I don't really remember.
I just
as much
remember
of it,
watching
but
it, and I remember being like, and knowing it's half the battle. G.I. Joe.
Yeah,
and like, I remember the beginning, and I remember them running, and it's just bits and pieces. I don't really remember anything else.
But but G.I. Joe, G.I. Joe's got a lot of like jargon because Larry Hama, I don't know how you pronounce his name.
He was in the military.
He was in the military, so he wrote basically what he knew.
Yeah.
And it was very, you could say it was very true to, a lot of technical jargon. Like military jargon, that stuff that like I wouldn't understand as much if there wasn't a context to it.
So is Finn Balor like more yoked than normal in this
Probably.
match? Okay, sorry, continue on. He's like very muscular.
He's a fit boy.
He was fit before, but he's like really muscular now.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway,
so
Blackhawk.
But Blackhawk kind of like that. But Blackhawk is more. The team's got there's characters on the team. And you got it's a bunch of the Allied forces. So right, because it was Allied versus Axis powers. Mm-hmm. So the Allied forces, you have the Americans, and then you have the English, and you got the Dutch.
Whoever was our friend.
Yeah, you got some French people on there. So you got
not Italians. Sorry, my people on the wrong side.
So
hanging Mussolini upside down. Nothing else to
do. So Blackhawk, basically that's what Blackhawk team is, and Blackhawk is a book that went on for I think this is 83, so I want to say this went on for another couple of years after this.
Oh, God.
This book went on for a very long time. Very long time. And which is pretty incredible considering that, like Sergeant Rock, I think it outlasted Sergeant Rock. It outlasted a lot of these books.
Was Sergeant Rock a World War II book?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there was Sergeant Rock, there was Unknown Soldier, there was, there was Men of War, GI Combat.
I remember that.
A lot of those books, a lot of those books lasted way longer than you would have imagined, because it wasn't just like, oh, here's the World War II, let's just keep these going. No, they kept on telling those stories. There was, Haunted Tank.
World War II. I feel like, as Americans, we have just been like, World War II, driving in the fucking ground, we're so great. Oh my God, let's talk about all the victories in World War II, which is an amazing thing. We have a lot of other wars that we could, set things in. Like, World War I, I feel like, kind of just gets forgotten.
Yeah,
no one ever fucking talks about, World War I, literally changed the world in a way that we can barely comprehend.
Yeah. It was the first World War.
It was the first. They literally called it the Great War because they're like, it's never going to happen again. But to the point where we were talking about Downton Abbey shit, and then World War I happens, and all of a sudden you've got a huge technological leap.
Yeah.
Forward. Nobody ever talks about it. Not to mention it was fucking brutal as shit. Mm-hmm. Trench warfare and mustard gas and people getting their faces blown off. It was a mess.
Uh-huh.
I just don't feel people give World War I, enough due.
Maybe I should be a World War I buff.
There's not very many of them.
I know.
I feel like there's a lot of WW2 buffs.
I kind of feel like
I do want to set a book in World War I, actually.
Yeah.
Because I feel like not a lot of people.
Because usually it goes Civil War, and then everybody's like, fuck World War One.
Yeah.
And then WW2, and then we forget about the Korean War.
Yeah, we don't talk about Korea.
And then we talk about Vietnam.
Kind of, and we're just like, oh, Vietnam was a thing.
We're just skipping wars.
Yeah, we only talk about a couple of them. We're just like, WW2. And I'm like, dude, you know how many horses died in World War One? A lot. So many horses. They were just, every horse was dying. It was terrible.
Guys, there was so much glue after World War I.
So much glue. Just an excess amount.
World War glue.
But yeah. Anyway, so Blackhawk is a thing. We're talking about this issue. Also drinking wine. So we've got Blackhawk on the cover, and he's talking to this lady who's got this really cool white streak in her hair.
He's not talking. They're pointing guns at each other. There's no dialogue at all. So basically, we have Blackhawk, and he's square.
It's the language of war.
Okay, so he's squaring off against what's her name?
Domino.
Domino.
Yes.
And she is a buxom, raven-haired woman with a skunk streak in her hair,
which is fucking awesome, by the way. Can I tell you,
awesome. She is awesome.
If I had a white streak a literal, not just white hair, but like a white streak in my hair, kind of like a Bonnie Raitt. Dude, I'd never fucking dye that thing. That's fucking cool as hell.
Yeah.
I'd rock a white streak. I think that'd be awesome.
I want to say this too, and she Domino.
Yeah.
Is probably one of the hottest comic book characters I've ever seen.
She's pretty sexy.
I mean, she's right up there with Jim Balance Catwoman.
She's pretty hot. She's got like the thigh-high boots on.
Yeah.
Like they're not knee-high. Oh no, these are thigh-high. She's got like a skin-tight, like kind of like a Black Widow suit, except this one's like cut to the navel.
Yeah.
So there's tits everywhere, and like it's a very V. You can see a lot of cleavage. Also, she's got the cool skunk streak, which is always great.
Yeah, and now I'm surprised that like I feel like she looks so awesome, but
she does look awesome.
She just looks awesome.
She does look awesome.
I'm surprised that
it's pointless.
She's not like a bigger thing in DC things, you know.
She should be.
I mean, granted,
let's bring her back.
Yeah, well,
somebody hire me, I'll bring her back. So they're like pointing guns at each other, and in behind them is a spiky wheel. Huge, but not like a little one. Like
this is
like a 90-foot tall wheel.
It is gigantic. Is the gigantic war wheel with spikes?
Fuck
and
the
guns.
war wheel. This thing is stupid.
So the story is called "Only One Survives."
Yeah. These two have like a Batman Catwoman kind of relationship.
They totally do,
but not like as good. Like it's one of those like we're on different sides, but we like totally want to fuck each other.
Yeah, there's a lot of like it kind of comes a lot from Blackhawk's standpoint, where he's like, man, if she was only different, things would be different.
Yeah, well, we're not gonna get her perspective because this is dude central.
Because she's a Nazi assassin.
Yes.
But
also a Nazi,
and also a Nazi, and there's she does have some feeling.
Hey, she's a sexy Nazi.
Mm-hmm. She does have some feelings for.
No one has ever said that before.
Yeah, she has some feelings for Blackhawk, but I mean, it's always kind of like Blackhawk.
They just want to bang.
They want they're like, oh man, if only we could have this.
We could fuck. So we start here. The war wheel is laying waste to a village.
Yes, they're in Spain.
In Spain. So it is laying waste to a very lovely Spanish village. The Blackhawk team. This isn't. It's part of his team, right? He's like the leader, but these aren't the other Blackhawks we would see in a book about the Blackhawks.
No, these are the Blackhawks.
Are these the same people?
These are
because
the dudes.
I don't see Lady Blackhawk.
Well, she's just not here.
And they're not flying anything.
No, they're fighting the war.
Okay. So they're like trying to shoot this war wheel.
Stanislaus is like the big guy.
Stanislaus, but we also have to say that there's a dude on this team who looks like Brock Lesnar.
Oh, this guy here?
Like fucking legitimately, when you turn the page and look at the thing of his face, tell me that doesn't look like Brock Lesnar.
Oh, that one?
Yes.
Yeah, that's Brock.
He is completely, he's got the blonde hair, he is pink, and he is also square.
He is hot dog colored.
He is 100% hot dog.
He has the skin of a hot dog.
He looks like Brock Lesnar, but he is kind of a fuck up.
Which one is he? Is that Stanislaus?
I don't remember what this guy's name is.
See, here's the thing. Okay,
he's the Brock Lesnar guy.
I'll be honest. I have a hard time figuring out which one is which.
Oh, I don't give a fuck.
Because there's like 8 of them.
Yeah, that's the thing.
They're just like,
but they all kind of. This guy's trying to prove himself. That's how I can tell him apart. I say Brock Lesnar's trying to prove himself because he wants to be the leader instead of Blackhawk.
Right, but
and he fucks up a lot. By the way.
But he's Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, and he fucks up.
Well, I think this is Stanislaus because he is heading the team, so that the war wheel is smashing everything, and
he's
they're
like, "Come on, villagers, this way." And he like runs them down like an embankment or something. And is this where he gets in the quicksand?
Well, this is like they're running down an embankment. And there's like a sign that's in Spanish, and
he's like, "I don't read Spanish because I'm an American. I don't speak another language."
He's not American. He's like,
he's not.
No, he's
Aren't Blackhawks American?
No, this is different. It's allied members.
Ugh.
So we got some Dutch.
Why?
We got English.
Why do we have to be so complicated? I can't keep this straight. I'm drinking wine. So whoever this guy is, he doesn't speak Spanish, and he runs down the road into what is quicksand. Now, I'm assuming they have quicksand everywhere.
I've never been. Look. In my life, I have never encountered quicksand.
What was that joke where it was like, I forget who said it, but somebody was like, TV and movies led me to believe that quicksand was going to be a much bigger thing.
Right.
Yeah, because I'm like, really, I don't think I've ever encountered quicksand.
Yeah, a lot of movies and a lot of stuff that
It's just everywhere.
It's like you're just like, oh man, there's quicksand. You're just like, lay down, don't squirm.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, so
well, I feel like I read that in like books in like school.
yes, they
Being
teach
like,
you
hey,
how to
if
like
you
get
ever
out
come
of
across
quicksand.
This is what you do.
Yeah, you have to. So like that's the thing. He starts like sinking, and his friend's like, dude, you got to lay down on your back. You have to distribute your weight properly, which this is 100% true.
100% true.
If you're ever on thin ice and you realize it's going to break, you're supposed to do the same thing.
What, lay down?
Yeah, distribute your weight. So it's not in one
But how do you get off?
I think you just kind of like
Squirm
until you get it to
Does
somewhere
somebody pull
thicker.
you off? Does Brock Lesnar pull you off?
I think you just hope somebody comes to get you before you fall through.
Okay.
So he's like, oh no.
Thin ice I can understand being a part of.
That's a thing you'd run into a lot more. But
Yeah.
apparently it's the same thing. The same idea is you're supposed to distribute your weight evenly and hope that you don't go through. So that happens, and then the war wheel, like,
Well, the war wheel comes by, and they're like, oh shit, we gotta
Shoot
fucking take
at
out the
it.
war wheel. So one of the guys figures out that
it looks like it just breaks the head off a match. Like,
Hendrickson takes a shot and he knocks off one of the antennas.
it really just looks like a match.
It looks like it's a thin structure.
I mean, just the drawing in general, it just looks like a match.
Yeah, but it allows them for the war wheel to basically stop. But the problem they've been having with the war wheel's a gigantic
Because
wheel
it's a
with
fucking
spikes.
war wheel.
It's a thing literally called the war wheel, but somehow what happens is the war wheel's there for 1 second, there 1 minute, and then it's gone.
That doesn't make sense.
And so they're like, well, why does this keep disappearing? Why does this keep happening? We managed to defeat it here, stop it here, but...
Victory over the war wheel.
Yeah, so the war wheel goes away, and they're like, what's up with that? So...
What the fuck? But they did not die in quicksand, so that's good.
So now we jump
So then because Brock Lesnar is like, I really want to prove myself as a leader.
Yeah.
But then it's like, but the real leader is flying to Marrakesh. He's looking he hears that Domino's supposed to be here, right?
Yeah.
So he's looking for anybody who might have seen her, and he talks to like the guy at the hotel because he's like, man, I'm sure whoever she was with just thought it was going to be a great night with a chick, and now he's dead or something.
Yeah.
And so he like talks to the guy at the hotel, and the guy's like, look, let me tell you, in Marrakesh, nobody sees shit.
Yeah.
Even if they see shit, they don't see shit. Okay?
Yeah.
So then Domino sees Blackhawk, and then we kind of get her background, where she's like, her husband, she's a German farmer.
She was a
Or
peasant. She was
something.
basically like a
Peasant.
German peasant woman whose husband died, and who died in service of Hitler.
Yeah.
And so she's like, well, so basically the Nazis were like, hey, let's.
Well, she was like, hey, my husband isn't going to die in vain. I will avenge his death by joining up and becoming an assassin for the Nazis, except also I really kind of want to fuck Blackhawk.
Yeah.
So even though she says she's kissed a lot of guys in her service of Germany.
Yeah.
Of the fatherland.
She's given tongue in honor of Hitler.
But there's something
Tongue for Hitler!
There's something about this.
Why am I
tongue
yelling at
for Hitler?
Tongue for Hitler.
Is that a fucking shirt? Do you think like I mean, we're there now, but like if Hitler was now, do you think
Hashtag tongue for Hitler.
do you think people would just be like tongue for Hitler, like walking through the streets and shit with like signs? I don't know. Life is stupid. Anyway, so she's like, I really like Blackhawk. Also, I was wearing a really, really low cut gown and my tits were hanging out.
Well,
and
look at me,
he had a chance to murder me, but he didn't. I'm gonna think because of my tits.
I want to point out that in her training, she wore
much tits, man.
She wore a very orange suit, and she was trained by the Nazi Granny Goodness.
Oh my god! I mean, so can we talk about the Nazi Granny Goodness here? Because her boobs must be humongous, but they're also like, because they're one of those like they're so big she probably can't wear a bra boobs.
No.
Yeah, those things are like L's. Like an L cup. That thing's got to be specially made. So then she's like, oh, hey, I'm going to look at myself being hot in the mirror before I go down to, I'm assuming a bar/casino?
Well, basically, this is what it seems like to me. So basically, she's been told that she has to kill Blackhawk or not come back.
Yeah.
Time to murder. It's like, you better kill this Blackhawk guy because, this is what we're doing here.
Time to murder.
So World War II. But she's basically what it feels like is that they're in. It's like Casablanca.
It really is, yeah,
like
100%.
It's very much.
He's even wearing a white jacket.
Yeah, it's very much like a Casablanca, and so Blackhawk's like, all right, well, I'm gonna pretend to smoke, and he's like, oh wait, smoking sucks.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I'm terrible at smoking. Never mind.
He's like, bleh.
So he's like in this like bar/casino. There's this horribly racist drawing of a person of color who's supposed to be this like guy who's like stealing money from him. He's like, I don't know you, but if you give me money, I'll tell you about her.
No, he doesn't.
But he literally just doesn't look to the left because she's right there.
Yeah, Blackhawk like doesn't realize to like look around.
So he like gives this guy money for no reason.
Well, he gives the guy money because he's like, I want to see if I can figure this out, and then he's like, oh wait, I should have just turned to my left because she's literally he goes, oh yeah, here, I'll take your money, and she's right behind you.
This would just be like walking into a store, like walking into a restaurant to meet your friend, and your friend's like, hey, I already got a table, but they didn't tell you where, and you only look at one side and go, I guess they're not here.
You guess they're not here, and then you
didn't even look at the other side.
And you're like, I told you I was behind you.
You're like, you could have just turned your head to the left.
This is how
you would have seen me in the corner.
Listen,
it's like a boutique restaurant. It's tiny.
Yeah.
You couldn't have missed me.
Listen. This is what happened before we had text messages. Because you would
people forget to look left?
Yeah, you just walk in, you would look in one direction only, and then you wouldn't realize your friends were there, and you would just leave.
Is this so many misconnections? Is it like, oh my god?
Yeah, nobody ever met anybody in the 80s.
Is this why people were always stood up for dates back then? Because again, that was another thing TV told me was going to be a much bigger deal.
Oh, that you couldn't get, if you had
that
I
would be stood up a lot. Which, surprisingly, I should have been, but I wasn't.
In the 80s, the only thing we were doing was getting stood up for dates, and we were falling in quicksand. That was it.
Do you think people were getting stood up because their date fell in quicksand?
Yes.
So it was like, oh no, they died on the way to my date.
That'd be a great Blake Edwards movie.
Instead of, oh no, they just didn't look left.
It's like, wait, if I only looked left, I would see her sinking in quicksand.
I could have saved her, but also dated her and given her flowers.
I went to this restaurant. For some reason, the tables are in quicksand.
Only the left side of the restaurant is in quicksand.
Sorry, man. We're all booked up on the right side, so the left side will just, we'll put you.
That's where they put people who only go to fancy restaurants for their birthdays. So, didn't look to the left. Everybody died in quicksand. So she's like there and he sees her and she's like trying to romance some guy with like a Teddy Roosevelt mustache. She also has a compact because us ladies always have compacts. And she sees him in the mirror of her compact and she just turns around in the middle of this fucking casino and starts to like shoot at him.
Yeah.
He grabs the gun. They get escorted out because, they just started trying to shoot up a club.
Yeah, so whoever's running this club is like...
It's just like, hey, guys, could you, not shoot each other? And they're like, I guess we can go outside.
Drawing, though, of them side-eyeing each other. Do you see this? I like that. I rather...
Oh, yeah, because they're like, okay.
So basically, this guy that ushers them out, he's like, "Look, we're in Marrakesh. Our main export is prisoners because basically people come here and they fuck up, and then we'd be like, hey, who wants this person? Pay us money." So that's what they do in this area, in this this region. So they're like, okay, so we also got your clothes for your for your uniforms because we want to make sure that whoever's buying you knows that you look like you're supposed to.
Sure.
Apparently. So,
I just know that they left. Oh, they threw their uniforms at them and they're like, "Oh, hey, we need to get out of the situation."
Yeah, so Blackhawk and
let's team up.
Yeah, Blackhawk and God, I keep forgetting her name. Domino are like, "Yo, let's figure this out."
So Domino's like, "Oh man, getting people to help me is so great. I remember it doesn't suck as much as I thought it did." So then we cut back to the other Blackhawks who were like I don't even know what the fuck they're doing.
Basically, they're like, look, we got to figure out what's going on.
Oh, they're
with this
looking for the
wheel.
war wheel.
They got to figure out this war wheel.
So
one of them, it gets a.
They get in blimps.
I think Stanislaus actually gets a tip of where this where the war wheel is, because apparently they've been using.
What does it have, like an invisibility cloak or something?
They've been using like clouds, like artificial clouds, to mask the war wheel.
That thing is 90 feet tall.
Right, it's gigantic, but somehow the magic clouds allow it to disappear in thin air.
No.
Because they not only do they use magic clouds, but they're also using like a bunch of like zeppelins to lift it up into the air.
Oh, okay.
And so they lift it up into the air so
I thought that
quickly.
guy was in a blimp, but
No.
he's in a plane.
No, they're in a plane because the Blackhawks are like, yo, let's go find this stuff. So they find the war wheel flying over Portugal with a bunch of blimps attached to a bunch of blimps. So they're like, all right, well, let's shoot this fucking thing down. So they do, and the war wheel falls in the middle of Portugal somewhere.
Yup.
And they're like, all right, well,
They're like, hey, cool, war wheel.
we gotta stop this war wheel because now it's like about to destroy like a Portuguese village.
Yeah.
So Stanislaus gets the idea of running up to the war wheel to get his attention, starts making a bunch of anti-Nazi jokes.
Uh-huh.
He says, oh, Hitler is a baboon and Himmler dresses like a woman and Eva Braun's got a mustache, blah, blah, blah. So, which apparently the war wheel is porous enough for these.
Right, this thing.
Because it's manned. The war wheel is just not like a thing you just drop it and it
There's
rolls.
dudes in the war
There's
wheel.
dudes.
It's like the Starship Enterprise. There's like tons of dudes.
Enterprise, but for Nazis.
But for Nazis, and they just like hang out in a war wheel. And apparently they're really upset because Eva Braun has facial hair.
Yeah, how dare you make fun of Hitler's consort.
Sometimes ladies just have facial hair. It fucking
They are
happens.
European.
I don't know about Germans.
I don't know.
But, you know, if you venture on down towards us Italians, and you're going to find some ladies with mustaches. I mean, that's the thing.
Yeah.
It happens.
So they're like, so Stanislaus apparently gets the, I'll say Stan. Saying Stanislaus is hard for me.
Just call him Stanny.
Stan gets the
Stanny.
war wheel to follow him, but
What? That thing fucking turns on a dime. That thing is gigantic.
Right.
Also, it looks like it's made out of the same shit as Captain America's shield.
but somehow they're in the same area where they were the day before.
But they're in Portugal.
Right. And
They were in
apparently
Spain the day
They
before.
find a way to get it stuck in the same quicksand
I mean,
as they were
Spain and
before.
Portugal do border each other, but
Right.
I'm going to say no. So yeah, they get it stuck in the same quicksand, which honestly, this war wheel is so big it shouldn't matter. It should just be able to go through the quicksand.
Right. The mechanics of the war wheel, I feel like,
Yeah, I
should
think-
supersede. It's something that probably should have been thought
If
of.
you are going to make a 100-foot tall war wheel that has spikes on it, it should be able to just roll over a puddle of fucking quicksand.
Yeah.
It does not do that.
Does not do that. So
So they capture some Nazis, and they're like, "Yay, we got some Nazis!"
and then like Winston Churchill, who's actually depicted here. Winston Churchill.
he looks like a giant baby.
Yes. Yes. This giant baby talks to
He's
Brock
got the
Lesnar.
biggest face. I mean, like his face
Listen,
is like the entire panel.
If you want to
There's
imagine
just so much face.
Listen, if you want to imagine this comic book, imagine the boss baby talking to Brock Lesnar.
Imagine the boss baby if he got stung by bees talking to Brock Lesnar.
And he was 80 feet tall.
And he was 80 feet
like
tall.
talking to Brock Lesnar about war. That's this comic book.
And it was Alec Baldwin doing an English accent.
Actually, that sounds like a great episode of the Boss Baby cartoon.
No, it doesn't. This is awful.
Well, actually, hang on. Think about it. The Boss Baby does have like a Brock Lesnar type baby as a part of
Oh,
his
it does
crew.
have a, yes, it does. A giant
He has, like-
monster baby that's just like a square,
Yeah.
but also a child.
Yeah.
It's a child. If a square had feet,
It was also a toddler.
I think that's probably the best way to describe Brock Lesnar is if a square had feet. If a cube had feet, they would be Brock Lesnar. Because he is very, very square. He's also very pink.
So Winston Churchill was like, yo, first of all,
I just want to say, you're great.
he's like, yo, thanks for saying.
Second of all, I just want to say,
thanks for doing some dope shit. But I want to say, first of all, Domino, who we're trying to like capture, get
shoot her if you see her.
No. Well, they say shoot her if you see her, but also apparently she has like a self-destruction device.
Oh.
A part of her, so basically,
I drank a lot of wine. I don't really remember.
If she doesn't do what Hitler wants, she might as well just be exploded.
Well, Hitler already said, fucking figure it out.
Yeah.
Kill that guy or don't come back here.
Right, and then they're also we're trying to get like Blackhawk back, but as it turns out, Blackhawk, the bid for Blackhawk is
so high.
Winston Churchill gets outbid by Hitler for Blackhawk. These people that are holding them hostage are like, look, we're going to sell you, Blackhawk, we're going to sell you to Hitler, and nobody gives a shit about you, Domino. So at that point, they've apparently, since they've, they just determined a truce, Blackhawk and Domino.
They kick the shit out of the guy.
They beat these guys up. And then
they escape, and then they're like, in a forest, and he's like, hey, Domino, hey, I'm going to give you like a 2-minute head start before me and my buddies come after you. And then he hears the click of a gun, and she's got a machine gun pointed at him. And then I love this panel. It's her face, but in the background is a screaming Hitler face that's just like, ah! His mouth is open like so wide.
He's very angry.
It's like Charlie Chaplin, like doing like the Hitler, his Hitler character, being like, look, either you kill him or you don't come back. Like that's it. So she's holding the gun on it, and she's like, hey, look, my name is Helga. And he goes, what? And she goes, nobody knows that but you. Then she's gonna start shooting because the other Blackhawks show up, and her gun isn't working.
Right. So she's just trying to shoot him, and it's not working.
Yeah, her gun, she has no ammo.
And so the sniper on the Blackhawks is like, all right.
He's like, time to murder. And he just kills her, and she dies. And the Blackhawk's like, oh my God, no. And so then all the Blackhawks find him. They join him, and they're like, wait a second. She actually had like fully loaded clip here.
Yeah.
Either she didn't realize that, or
she did.
Or she did, and she got herself killed to like save him or whatever.
Yeah.
And then there's like a picture of him like looking off into the distance while everybody stares at her gun and like looks at each other like, "What?" Like it just should be like the shrug. Every single person in this panel should be the shrug emoji.
It's a very shrug panel.
It is very shrug panel. And he's just there all like, wait, did it mean that she loved me? Did it mean that she wanted to fuck me? And you're like, yes, that's exactly what it meant. She also didn't want to go back to Hitler because he's Hitler.
Yeah.
And so then he like, I assumed, compressed her body into tiny pellet-shaped or petal-shaped pellets and threw them into the water. That's the end.
In order of her, and that was it.
That's fucking fucked up.
Yeah. Oh, what, Jeff Hardy?
Yeah, I'm not happy.
Yeah, I don't like when the people do that thing with their eyes shut, with their eyelids. Like they paint eyeballs on their eyelids, and then they open their eyes, and then they have real eyes.
All of this is upsetting. Okay.
Yeah. It's okay. This match, he gets to be the kick to the dick.
Of course he does, because that's all Shinsuke Nakamura does now is kick people in dicks.
It is. He gets kicked to the dick, and then Randy Orton comes out and stomps on Jeff Hardy's dick. There's a lot of dick.
Why is there so much dick trauma in wrestling now?
I don't know why all of a sudden.
What happened? See, look at the dick trauma. There it is.
I don't know why wrestling all of a sudden became like.
It became the dick trauma 5 hours. Because I'd say hour, but like it's 5 hours.
So that's it for our Blackhawk story.
Is there any dick trauma in this book?
Sadly, no.
I mean, Blackhawk might have had like blue balls, but he didn't have any dick trauma.
No, he definitely had blue balls. I'm surprised that Stanislaus didn't like run up to the war wheel and kick it in the dick.
Yeah, did the war wheel run over anybody's dick? Like,
oh man, that'd be a great thing where if there's like somebody who's on the ground and it's like, oh no, the war wheel. It's like smash scrotum.
Oh, can we also say the war wheel is like 6 car lengths long?
It's gigantic.
It's huge, like wide. It's like 6 Priuses parked next to each other. The fact
Priuses.
that I don't know. I'm just trying to. I mean,
it's 6 HHRs parked next to each other.
It's 7 Pintos.
It's 8 Leafs. So.
I like a Leaf.
I know. I'm not saying. I'm
I also,
cool with
you know what? I realize Priuses are for fucking snobby jerks, but I like Priuses. Okay,
I would love
am a
Prius
snobby
right now.
jerk.
I would love a Prius right now.
I would love a Prius right now too.
So shout out to Priuses.
Shout out to Priuses. Shout out to Dick Trauma in wrestling.
Yo, we're putting over some stuff this week. We got shout out to Dick Trauma Pro
Speaking of
Wrestling. Got
putting
shout out
shit-
to Priuses. Got shout out to Blackhawk.
Legitimate putting shit over. I hate on a lot of stuff because I hate all things. But the one thing that I don't hate is We Hate Movies, the podcast.
Okay. Yeah, no, I agree with that.
It's literally my favorite podcast. I look forward to it every week. There's homework that I have to do to like listen to We Hate Movies. Like I have to watch a movie to like listen to the show. You don't have to, but I do. Utterly enjoyable. So very funny. Those guys really deserve a much bigger following than they have. And they have a huge following. They deserve a bigger one.
Yeah, we talk about them on our show.
We do talk about them all the time, but I mean, like, really,
talk
if
about
you're
maybe
looking,
too much sometimes.
yeah.
I feel, but they're definitely worth it.
No, if you are looking for like a new movie like a new podcast about movies, I would recommend them.
Yep.
So there you go. That's my legitimate putting something over, not my Dick Trauma. Let's put that over. Jokey bullshit.
So Blackhawk Bylines is the title of the.
I don't like it.
There's little birds like.
So like what? Like they were like fucking writing articles? And like no, I don't like that at all.
Yeah. This
Don't
one
like
even
it?
have
No, thank
letters.
you.
It's just Mark Evan here writing about something.
Yeah, because nobody cares about Blackhawks. Oh, am I stepping on my computer?
Also, too, I don't know if you knew this, but Blackhawk apparently
Don't give a fuck.
is on its way to becoming an actual movie.
Yes, I did know that. It's produced by Steven Spielberg or directed by Steven
Yeah, he's gonna have a hand in it.
I
so.
think he'll probably give up. Again,
can't see- I can't
you want to know why? It's because America has such a fucking hard-on for World War II. That's why. Again, we have other wars. Just say it.
So that's it for Blackhawk number 263 from October 1983. Would you want to read the next issue of this?
No, I don't care.
Yeah, I'm not.
I've never cared about Blackhawks. I don't like Lady Blackhawk. I realize she shows up in DC Bombshells. I don't care.
Yeah, it's not for me. That's it for this week's show. Thanks for listening, folks. You can find us on Twitter and Instagram. I'm at Angry Hero Sean.
And I'm at Jen Stansfield on Twitter and Instagram. You can find us on Facebook.
Yeah, find us on Facebook.
Worst
Please-
collection ever.
Please check us out on Facebook. Yeah, we have people try to contact us there. And,
Sometimes I post things.
yeah, we try to post.
You know, if I see some comic book stuff, I try to post it on the Facebook page.
Yeah, we mentioned just saying there's stuff like
So,
this.
you know.
Yeah, that happens. Yeah, we try to
Like,
mention-
I posted something about that, like, new DC streaming service. Like, apparently that's going to be a thing.
That's the thing, and they're actually like doing like a Doom Patrol show. I think.
Yeah, you know, it's just they're also doing like another like season of Young Justice that's supposed to be on the streaming app. It's just one of those things. I'm like, everybody has a fucking service. Like, who do I want to pay for?
All right, folks. Thanks again for listening, folks. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye.